Imagine waking up each day with absolute clarity of purpose, unaffected by setbacks, unmoved by chaos, and fully focused on what truly matters. It may sound like a rare superpower, yet for one of the most powerful figures in ancient history, this was an everyday reality. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, left behind a collection of personal reflections that have survived for centuries. Far from being relics of a bygone era, his writings offer timeless wisdom on mastering self-discipline amidst the noise and unpredictability of life. Stoicism isn't just an abstract philosophy. It's a practical guide to transforming adversity into advantage, emotional turmoil into tranquility, and uncertainty into strength. In a world filled with distractions and instant gratification, Stoic teachings ground us in essential virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and moderation. This philosophy is not about simply enduring life, but thriving within it, regardless of circumstances. If you're looking for a way to handle challenges with resilience, stay focused on what matters, and lead a disciplined life, the insights of Marcus Aurelius can serve as a powerful foundation. The journey to self-discipline begins with discovering your purpose. Marcus Aurelius believed that a disciplined life starts with understanding what truly matters to you. Purpose isn't just about ambition or external success. It's about identifying what drives you at your core and aligning your actions with that deeper calling. For Aurelius, this was not an abstract idea, but a guiding principle that shaped every decision, big or small. He saw purpose as a force that gets you out of bed each morning, keeps you focused when distractions arise, and strengthens your resolve against temptation. In today's world, finding your purpose can feel overwhelming due to the endless choices and distractions that pull us in different directions. This is where Stoicism becomes invaluable. It teaches us to strip away fleeting desires and superficial goals to uncover what truly matters. Ask yourself, what is worth my time and energy? How can my actions contribute to my personal growth and the greater good? Paying attention to what naturally excites or fulfills you can provide clues to your purpose. Once you identify your purpose, self-discipline follows naturally through intentional action. The Stoic practice of daily reflection becomes a crucial tool. Each morning, ask yourself, what am I meant to accomplish today? Each evening, reflect on whether you lived in alignment with your values. Over time, this practice not only strengthens discipline, but transforms life into a more meaningful and fulfilling journey. Another key lesson from Marcus Aurelius is the importance of self-reliance. He constantly emphasized that true strength comes from within and that counting on yourself is essential for resilience and self-discipline. This idea isn't about isolation, but about taking full responsibility for your thoughts, actions, and responses. External events and other people's opinions are beyond your control, but how you react to them is entirely up to you. Self-reliance means developing an internal compass that isn't easily swayed by external pressures. It means building the mental and emotional strength to stay true to your principles, even when faced with criticism or setbacks. It requires understanding that discipline is not something imposed from the outside, but something cultivated within. Marcus Aurelius taught that self-discipline is about mastering your impulses, focusing on what is within your power, and refusing to be a slave to fleeting emotions or desires. In a world where distractions are endless, adopting a Stoic mindset helps cut through the noise and focus on what truly matters. By following the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, you can cultivate a life of purpose, resilience, and unwavering self-discipline. The journey starts with small, intentional choices, aligning your actions with your values, reflecting on your purpose daily, and taking full responsibility for your path. The more consistently you apply these principles, the stronger your self-discipline will become, and the more fulfilling your life will be. Independence isn't about isolation or rejecting help from others. It's about understanding that we are ultimately responsible for our actions, reactions, and personal growth. Stoicism emphasizes focusing on what is within our control, a concept often discussed by Marcus Aurelius. He believed in the power of the self to confront life's challenges. By relying on ourselves, we tap into resilience and inner strength. This principle isn't about arrogance, but about building confidence through competence and a deep understanding of our own capabilities and virtues. Self-reliance is freeing, but it can also be intimidating, especially in a world where opinions and advice are always within reach. Learning to listen to our inner voice is challenging, but Stoicism teaches us to filter out distractions and trust in our reasoning. Aurelius saw this internal guidance as the most reliable counsel, as it is rooted in reason and virtue. Counting on ourselves also strengthens autonomy in decision-making, allowing choices to align with personal values rather than being influenced by external pressures or fleeting emotions. This autonomy is essential for maintaining integrity and living a life true to oneself. Building self-trust begins with small actions, making commitments and keeping them, setting personal goals, and working toward them independently, and taking time to reflect on decisions to ensure they align with core values. Over time, these practices develop self-discipline, making us more resilient and grounded in the face of challenges. Marcus Aurelius consistently emphasized the power of persistence, showing up every single day, not just in body but in spirit. This isn't about grand efforts made occasionally, but about the quiet, steady dedication to daily tasks that forge a disciplined life. To him, showing up each day was an essential part of living in accordance with nature, not just existing but actively participating in life. Even the smallest actions contribute to the world and reinforce personal values. Distractions are everywhere, and motivation fluctuates, but Stoicism teaches the importance of consistency. True discipline isn't about intensity, but about regularity. It doesn't mean every day must be highly productive. What matters is not letting days pass unnoticed or unutilized. Progress in any area, whether career, health, or relationships, comes from the commitment to show up daily. This practice is also tied to mindfulness, being present in the moment and focusing on the task at hand rather than dwelling on past failures or future anxieties. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about doing today's work today, emphasizing that focus and effort turn routine into improvement. Developing this discipline starts with small steps. Showing up might mean writing a paragraph of a book, doing a short workout, or spending uninterrupted time with a loved one. The act itself, not its scale, is what builds resilience. Each day of fulfilling a commitment strengthens willpower and reinforces the Stoic principle of personal responsibility and continuous self-improvement. While we cannot control outcomes, we can control our efforts. In consistently showing up, we develop the discipline needed for a meaningful life. Another powerful Stoic practice is voluntary hardship, strongly advocated by Marcus Aurelius. This isn't about making life difficult for its own sake, but about preparing for life's unpredictability, strengthening resilience, and cultivating gratitude. He, like many Stoics, believed that experiencing discomfort voluntarily helps fortify the mind against situations where hardship is forced upon us. This could mean foregoing certain luxuries, enduring physical challenges, or practicing small acts of self-denial. The reasoning is simple. If accustomed to hardship, unexpected adversities won't be overwhelming. It's like training mental resilience, so that when difficulties arise, they are met with calmness and composure. In a world that constantly seeks comfort, embracing discomfort may seem counterintuitive, but growth happens at the edges of comfort zones. Voluntarily stepping into discomfort builds strength, discipline, and an appreciation for what we have. The reasoning is simple. If accustomed to hardship, unexpected adversities won't be overwhelming. It's like training mental resilience, so that when difficulties arise, they are met with calmness and composure. In a world that constantly seeks comfort, embracing discomfort may seem counterintuitive, but growth happens at the edges of comfort zones. Voluntarily stepping into discomfort builds strength, discipline, and an appreciation for what we have. Another powerful Stoic practice is voluntary hardship, strongly advocated by Marcus Aurelius. This isn't about making life difficult for its own sake, but about preparing for life's unpredictability, strengthening resilience, and cultivating gratitude. He, like many Stoics. When we step outside our comfortable spaces, we test and expand our mental and emotional boundaries. This practice isn't about punishing ourselves, but about shifting our perspective, seeing comfort not as a necessity, but as a luxury we can choose to forego. Voluntary hardship cultivates gratitude. By occasionally living without certain comforts, we appreciate them more deeply. Skipping a meal can heighten our appreciation for food, and choosing to walk instead of drive can deepen our gratitude for mobility and health. Moreover, embracing discomfort connects us to the reality that many people face daily. This awareness fosters empathy, humility, and a deeper understanding of the human condition, grounding us in the shared reality of the world. To integrate this practice into life, start small. Wake up an hour earlier, limit technology use for a day, or take the stairs instead of the elevator. The significance lies not in the severity of the hardship, but in its consistency and intent. Each act of voluntary discomfort strengthens mental resilience and self-discipline. The dichotomy of control distinguishes between what is and isn't within our control, encouraging us to focus energy on the former. This simple yet transformative concept reduces anxiety and fosters peace and resilience. According to Stoicism, we control our actions, reactions, and judgments, while external factors, whether others' actions or global events, lie beyond our influence. Marcus Aurelius emphasized that becoming upset by things outside our control is futile and counterproductive. Practicing this principle starts with recognizing that while we can influence events, we cannot control them entirely. Acceptance of this truth is not passive but liberating. By focusing on our actions and detaching from outcomes, we maintain tranquility and effectiveness, regardless of circumstances. This doesn't mean indifference, but rather engaging with the world constructively, directing efforts where they truly matter. In daily life, applying this principle means asking, is this within my control? Before reacting. If not, the Stoic practice is to let go and move forward. This mindset also reshapes how we set goals and expectations. While striving for success, tying happiness or self-worth to external outcomes sets us up for frustration. Instead, Stoicism teaches us to find fulfillment in the pursuit itself, in staying true to our values and in the effort we invest. Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic philosophers never promised a life without struggle, but offered a way to maintain inner peace and dignity through life's highs and lows. By embodying this principle, we enhance our own lives and influence others through our example of calmness and resilience. Rejecting a victim mentality is central to Stoic philosophy. Rather than seeing ourselves as passive recipients of hardship, Stoicism urges us to take control of our perceptions and reactions. True empowerment lies in understanding that our happiness depends more on our internal state than on external events. This doesn't mean ignoring difficulties or injustices, but shifting focus from what happens to how we respond. Every challenge presents a choice. How will we allow it to define us? By refusing to play the victim, we reclaim control over our emotional well-being. This realization fosters personal growth and resilience. Practicing this principle starts with observing our habitual reactions to adversity. Instead of dwelling on circumstances, we learn to reframe them, taking ownership of our responses and developing the strength to navigate life's uncertainties with grace. When faced with difficulties, we often seek external factors to blame or spend our energy complaining rather than addressing the situation. Changing this mindset doesn't mean suppressing emotions, but understanding them deeply and redirecting our energy more constructively. It requires acknowledging pain and disappointment while also recognizing our ability to move forward despite them. This perspective encourages us to see every obstacle as an opportunity to practice virtue and strengthen our character. It shifts our approach from feeling helpless to making conscious choices, allowing us to demonstrate fortitude, perseverance, and resilience. By refusing to adopt a victim mentality, we cultivate emotional independence, developing an inner sense of calm that helps us engage with life more fully. This doesn't mean becoming emotionless, but rather reaching a state where happiness isn't easily disrupted by external circumstances. Instead of being controlled by our situation, we align ourselves with our deepest values. Marcus Aurelius emphasized delayed gratification not just as a discipline, but as a path to greater freedom and fulfillment. In the Stoic view, mastering impulses isn't about denying pleasure, but about prioritizing long-term well-being over short-term satisfaction. This principle is especially relevant today, where instant gratification is the norm. Developing the ability to wait for something better is a rare yet valuable skill. For Stoics, delaying gratification was also a way to maintain mastery over desires. Being enslaved to fleeting pleasures can lead to a loss of control, making one vulnerable to their own whims. By exercising restraint and making choices based on reason and foresight, we build a life of lasting tranquility and contentment rather than temporary pleasure. Applying this in daily life can begin with simple habits: saving money instead of impulsive spending, choosing healthy meals over fast food, or dedicating time to skill building instead of immediate leisure. Each decision reinforces the practice of prioritizing long-term benefits. Psychological research supports this idea, linking delayed gratification to better success in career, education, health, and relationships. Those who can resist short-term temptations often manage stress more effectively, achieve their goals, and lead more fulfilling lives. Building resilience also involves ignoring naysayers, not just dismissing negative feedback, but developing mental strength to stay committed to goals despite external doubt. Doubt and skepticism from others are inevitable, but for Stoics, the approval or disapproval of others is beyond one's control and should not be relied upon for personal validation. Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively about focusing only on what is within one's power, emphasizing that true peace comes from within and cannot be shaken by external judgments. This Stoic indifference does not mean dismissing others, but maintaining an internal locus of control, filtering out distractions that do not serve one's higher purpose or align with one's values. In practical terms, ignoring naysayers is essential in a world where opinions are abundant and criticism is only a click away. While constructive feedback can aid growth, baseless criticism should not deter one from their path. Stoicism teaches the importance of evaluating the source and intent of criticism. Is it informed, well-meaning, and aligned with core values? Practicing this principle means cultivating a personal philosophy strong enough to withstand external pressures. Confidence in one's decisions should stem not from arrogance, but from a deep understanding of values and objectives. Marcus Aurelius lived by this principle, not just as a ruler, but as a person striving for virtue in a complex world. Ignoring naysayers strengthens emotional resilience, reducing reactivity to negativity, and fostering a focus on long-term vision. In a culture that often prioritizes social validation, stepping outside this cycle and remaining true to oneself is both rare and powerful. Embracing the Stoic practice of disregarding unnecessary noise protects mental space and ensures emotional energy is invested wisely. True growth comes from tuning into one's internal dialogue, the one that ultimately shapes life. Another key principle of Stoicism is finding wise individuals to emulate. Much of personal development comes from observing and learning from those who have mastered the virtues one aspires to cultivate. Emulating wise individuals is not about imitation, but about learning from their example to refine character and judgment. Marcus Aurelius frequently reflected on the qualities of those he admired, recognizing that wisdom is not just theoretical knowledge, but a practical guide to living well. Choosing whom to emulate involves identifying individuals who embody Stoic virtues, such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These could be historical figures, contemporaries, or even fictional characters who demonstrate resilience, integrity, and rational thinking. The goal is to seek role models whose lives serve as blueprints for facing challenges. With grace and determination, applying this principle requires careful selection of individuals whose values align with personal aspirations. It is more than admiration. It is an active process of studying how they navigate life, make decisions, and handle adversity. This practice encourages self-reflection. What aspects of this person's mindset or approach can be integrated into one's own life to improve conduct and choices? Emulating wise individuals bridges the gap between abstract philosophy and practical action. It provides concrete examples of how Stoic principles manifest in everyday life, making these ideals more accessible and compelling. Observing the tangible impact of Stoic virtues in the lives of respected figures reinforces their value and applicability. Seeking and learning from wise people becomes an ongoing, dynamic form of self-improvement, fostering continuous growth and deeper understanding. Self-improvement is a deliberate effort to grow and excel by surrounding ourselves with virtuous influences. When we engage with individuals who embody wisdom and integrity, we set a higher standard for ourselves, shaping our decisions and actions to reflect those qualities. This continuous pursuit of self-betterment helps us move closer to the wise and disciplined individuals we admire. A powerful habit in this journey is the daily practice of honest self-reflection. This is not just about recalling the events of the day, but deeply analyzing our thoughts, actions, and responses. The goal is to determine whether our behaviors align with core values such as wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. By doing so, we create a feedback loop that heightens our awareness and sharpens our decision-making. For Stoics, reviewing the day is not an exercise in self-criticism, but an opportunity for learning and adjustment. Mistakes are not sources of regret, but valuable lessons that inform future actions. Marcus Aurelius himself used this practice to ensure that he was growing as both a ruler and a philosopher, continuously refining his character and judgment. Applying this habit to modern life can be transformative. Ending the day with a few moments of quiet reflection helps bring clarity and focus. Key questions to ask yourself include: how did I handle challenges today? Did I stay true to my principles? What could I have done better? Were there moments where I lost control, and why? Engaging in this process fosters self-awareness and encourages a more intentional way of living. Beyond self-improvement, this habit brings a sense of closure to each day. Addressing unresolved thoughts and emotions before sleep prevents them from carrying over into the next day. In a world filled with distractions and pressures, this practice serves as a grounding ritual that keeps us aligned with our deeper goals and values. By committing to daily reflection, we cultivate self-accountability in a way that is both firm and compassionate. It is about recognizing strengths, identifying areas for growth, and making gradual improvements without self-judgment. This continuous learning process builds resilience and wisdom, making us both the student and the teacher in our personal journey. Over time, this practice reshapes not only how we view each day, but also how we live our lives. Each moment of reflection strengthens our connection to the virtues we aspire to uphold. Thank you for being part of this exploration into Stoic wisdom. Every day offers a new opportunity to refine yourself and embrace a life of purpose and integrity. Keep striving, keep learning, and keep living with intention.